Who's on the Zoom? Is anyone on the Zoom?
Just have to make do with our company, John.
Thought your dad might be on there. Thought your dad might be
He's in
on there.
Adelaide.
Yeah.
Good to go. Oh, John, at least until other results perhaps tonight, but for now, you are top of the league. What were your thoughts on the performance from your boys today?
Look, we had to adjust a little bit in terms of their system because they've been playing most of pre-season and the season with 5 at the back, 2 in the midfield and 3 up top. So, as soon as we saw what they were doing, we adjusted a little bit, and we were finding a good space, especially in the wider areas, especially out on our right side, and we created enough chances to be at least 2 or 3 up at half time. And then you get you adjust the rewards early on in the second half, and then we dropped off a little bit, and we gave the ball away a little bit cheaply where we could have kept on shifting them, and then it just gives them a little bit of hope, whereas we should have been winning that a lot more comfortable. So, but again, clean sheet. They didn't really look like scoring. They didn't really create any chances. We had a lot of chances, so it should have been a more comfortable win.
Speaking of adjustments, they even adjusted during the game with Akbari and Daly in midfield, and the game kind of tightened up as a result of that. How did you feel you needed to adjust in possession as a consequence of that one?
We knew that the way that they, in the second half, when they started to make sure that we couldn't get our midfielders on the ball, that our fullbacks will be an outlet, and I'm pretty sure the goal came of the fullback, Risdon, crossing the ball. So we knew that would be our outlet because they started to come very narrow. So as soon as you get out one side, through our back line, probably not through the midfield as much, they were going to be able to get our fullback and create 2v1. So, we did see that. We knew that they were trying to do something different. Players have to be able to adjust out on the pitch as well, because sometimes, they'll try something different, especially when things aren't going their way. In the first half, they didn't really have much, so they tried to change it. But all in all, the players adjusted pretty well.
John, this game, 3rd straight clean sheet. The only goal your side has conceded this A-League men's season has been from a set piece, so still yet to concede from open play. Do you feel as though this defensive foundation that you've been able to build in a pretty short period of time is going to give you a real platform to pursue silverware this season?
Will definitely give us a platform to be able to compete, and that's what we have to do every game, be able to compete. Even when you believe that you're the team that should win at home against a team that hasn't won, you still need to do those basic things well, and that's what we tried to do. We tried to make sure we didn't become too stretched, because against teams like Brisbane Roar, sometimes they can catch you and you become stretched, and so that's important. And what's also good is that Leo, probably our form player who won Player of the Month for the PFA, that he wasn't playing and we were still able to be very solid at the back. But it's not only the back; it's the midfield, it's the front line as well, working hard and making sure we make it hard for the opposition to find space.
I mean, Connor Payne probably played his best game today. He was pretty good last week as well, but he's starting to show those strides, playing a bit further up, obviously played more as a wing-back. I guess, how impressed have you been with him over the past week or so?
Yeah, he's been good. We saw against City that I thought he was dangerous against City, and getting into good positions. 1v1, we know what Connor can do. And the most important thing that we've tried to get our wide players, our wingers, is getting into the box. Getting bodies into the box, getting in good areas, because I think that our wider players can score more goals, and both him and Lockie were getting to really good areas, and so the goal was going to come, and Connor was getting frustrated because he thought that he could have had a couple in the first half, but probably the hardest opportunity he got, he finished it well, and then he could have grabbed another one after. But Connor's been good, and he'll get better as well once he gets used to playing in that position even more so.
And Leo obviously missed today. I mean, is this a sort of just a precautionary thing that he missed today, or is he going to be all right for next week?
He should be fine for next week. It was more that he copped a knock against City, and he wasn't quite right. If it was a grand final today, we would have risked it, but there's no use. It's early on in the season. We want to make sure that we keep him on the pitch for as long as possible, and he should be right against Adelaide.
So where did he cop a knock to?
Copped a knock just above his knee. So it's one of those ones that it's a corky, but it's just above the knee that they're quite painful.
So it's lower quad?
Yeah, lower quad.
Looking at this game, obviously very good defensively, but especially in that first half, you could have easily had 2, maybe 3 goals if your boys had their shooting boots on. What do you need to do to start having some of those chances actually falling for your side?
Just keep on believing, keep on getting in those positions, and they will. They'll fall for you, because the more you get yourself into those areas, the more goals you're going to score. That's just the way it is. And we practice a lot in that final third in training. It's just, I mentioned last time in the press conference, it's not only our defensive structures, we work on our attacking structures a lot. And that's why it was so pleasing to see Connor score, because in training his finishing's great. Lockie's finishing's great in training. We know Dylan Wenzel-Halls can score goals, and Diamante was getting in and around the box as well. So the more bodies we get in there in those areas, the more chances you got of scoring.
Speaking of Dylan Wenzel-Halls, let's say if you had full availability, is he now your starting striker, let's say?
I wish I had the headache of having everyone available. So yeah, when everyone's available, then you'll see who can be in the starting 11. It's a difficult one to answer, because the season will chop and change. We know that. We need everyone. We had our 3 foreigners that weren't playing today, but that's also a positive. When 3 of your signings from overseas aren't playing, and you're still able to get results, and deservedly so. It's important to keep picking up points, and we'll get stronger as the season goes on.
How far along is Alexander? Is it still a couple of weeks, or is he just?
It's one of those ones that we see day by day how much he keeps on improving. I'm not sure. I can't give you an exact date, but it's very soon. It's not too far away. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.